Could someone walk up to your house, look straight into your windows, or move through your yard more easily than they should? A lot of homeowners think about landscaping as decoration first, but good landscaping can also make a property feel more private, more protected, and a lot less comfortable to approach casually. Welcome back to Garden Guru. In this video, I'm ranking landscaping moves that can improve privacy and security without making your yard feel harsh or overbuilt. These are practical design moves that help define boundaries, reduce hiding spots, improve awareness, and make your home feel more intentional from the outside. So let's get into it. This is an interesting topic because security landscaping is usually not about making a home look defensive. It's about making the property easier to read, harder to approach casually, and less exposed where it matters most. A good landscape can help. Define where public space ends and private space begins. Limit easy sightlines into your home. Keep vulnerable areas visible, and make the whole property feel more clearly inhabited and cared for. So let's count down the landscaping moves that can do that best. Number 7. Define the edge of the property. This is one of the simplest and most overlooked moves. A lot of homes feel more exposed than they need to because the yard has no clear threshold. The lawn just runs out to the sidewalk. The driveway spills into the side yard. There's no real signal that someone is moving from public space into private space. That's where edge definition helps. This could be a low fence, a hedge, a planted border, a pavement shift, or even just a clearer line that says, this is the edge of the property, and this is where private space begins. This matters because clear boundaries change how people read a space. They make the property feel more intentional, more occupied, and less casually open. And importantly, that does not mean you need tall walls or harsh barriers. Often, a subtle, readable edge does a lot of the work. Number 6. Use gravel or audible surfaces in key transition zones. This one is practical and surprisingly effective. Some parts of a yard matter more than others when it comes to quiet approach. Think about side yards, side gates, narrow paths, service access areas, or places someone could move through without being seen easily. In those spots, soft, quiet surfaces can make movement feel almost invisible. But gravel, decorative rock, or other audible surfaces create feedback. They make movement harder to hide. Now, I would not put this everywhere. You probably do not want your whole yard sounding like a parking lot. But in key transition zones, audible ground surfaces can add a subtle layer of awareness. And they also help define those areas visually, which improves the design side of the yard too. I wanted to take a quick break from the video to let you know about an extensive digital workbook I created called Fix My Yard, the Complete Yard Diagnosis Workbook. It guides you through a structured diagnosis of your own property so you can understand what is not working, decide what should be fixed first, and avoid wasting money on improvements that will not solve the real problem. I'm pretty proud of it and think many of you will find it extremely valuable. If you like my teaching style, I think you'll love this step-by-step guide. You can learn more about it on my website linked below, as well as download free, useful garden clarity guides. Now, back to the video. Number 5. Light the vulnerable corners. This one is less about brightness everywhere and more about removing comfortable blind spots. A lot of homes have one or two areas that feel easy to ignore. A dark side yard, a corner near the garage, a side gate, a path between the fence and the house, or a transition area that disappears at night. Those are the places I would pay attention to first. Because when vulnerable corners stay dark, they feel more hidden and less observed. That's where lighting can help. Not necessarily dramatic floodlighting, just enough visibility that those areas feel active, readable, and less comfortable to linger in unnoticed. This is also where landscaping and lighting need to work together. If dense shrubs, low tree limbs, or bulky plantings are swallowing those corners, the lighting will never do as much as it could. So this move is partly about fixtures, but it's also about making sure the space around them stays visually open enough to work. Number 4. Keep key sightlines open. This is one of the most important design principles in the whole video. A lot of privacy landscaping goes wrong because it blocks the wrong view. People screen off too much. They let shrubs grow too high near windows. They use planting to close off areas that actually need to stay visible. And suddenly, the yard may feel private, but it also creates hiding spots or blind spots. That's the trade-off you want to avoid. Good security-minded landscaping usually keeps the important sightlines open. That means things like the view to the front door, the view to vulnerable windows, the view into the side yard, the view toward a gate, or the view across important approach lines. If planting blocks those views too heavily, the yard may feel softer or more enclosed, but it can also become easier to move through unnoticed. So before you add screening, ask, what views should remain clear? Because a more secure yard is not just screened, it is also readable. Number 3, use privacy planting without blocking awareness. This is where privacy and security really come together. A lot of homeowners want more privacy, which makes complete sense. But if the privacy planting is too dense, too tall, or placed in the wrong spot, it can cut you off from awareness. And that is where privacy starts working against security. The goal is not to expose everything. The goal is to block unwanted views in without blinding yourself to what's happening out. That might mean layered planting instead of a solid wall, screening from the street but keeping the entry visible, using slatted or semi-open structures, or placing privacy planting where it protects windows and outdoor living areas without creating hidden pockets near access points. This is one of the most important distinctions. Privacy is good, but privacy that destroys awareness is a problem. The best designs usually do both. They create comfort and they preserve visibility where it matters. Number 2, reinforce vulnerable windows and entries. This is one of the most direct landscaping moves in the whole list. Some parts of the house are simply more vulnerable than others. Ground floor windows, easy to reach side windows, low bedroom windows, entry adjacent windows, areas near the porch or side gate. These zones benefit from intentional planting. Not heavy shrubs that create hiding cover, but smart plant choices that make close access less appealing. This is where denser or thornier planting can make sense if it's used carefully. The goal is not to create a dangerous yard. It's to create a landscape that subtly says, this is not a comfortable place to linger, this is not an easy place to reach casually, and this area is clearly intentional. The key is placement. If thorny or dense planting goes in the wrong spot, it can create the very concealment you were trying to avoid. But used in the right place, especially below vulnerable windows, it can reinforce security without shouting. Number 1, make the yard look clearly inhabited and intentional. This is the biggest one because it shapes how the whole property is read. A yard does not have to be fancy to feel secure, but it should feel clearly cared for. Readable paths, maintained planting, visible edges, clean transitions. A sense that people notice this property and use this space. That kind of intentionality matters, because a property that looks actively maintained tends to feel more occupied, more watched, and less casually approachable. This does not mean perfection. It does not mean expensive landscaping. It means clarity. An unattended-looking side yard, overgrown shrubs near the entry, weeds in key transition areas, or a generally unclear layout can all make a property feel easier to ignore or easier to drift through. But when the yard looks clearly inhabited and designed with purpose, it creates a very different impression. And that impression is one of the strongest security signals landscaping can send. So if you want to use landscaping to improve privacy and security, here are the moves I'd focus on. Define the edge of the property. Use audible surfaces in the right transition zones. Light the vulnerable corners. Keep key sightlines open. Use privacy planting without blocking awareness. Reinforce vulnerable windows and entries. And most importantly, make the yard look clearly inhabited and intentional. Because good landscaping does not just make a home look better, it can also make the property feel more protected, more private, and a lot less casually accessible. And here's the quick test I'd use. Walk out to the front of your house and ask, where does private space clearly begin? What areas feel too hidden? What areas feel too exposed? And does this yard make the property feel clearly occupied and intentionally cared for? If the answer is no, then the problem may not just be security hardware. It may be the way the landscape is shaping the space. Well, there you have it. I hope this helped you feel more confident about landscaping moves that improve privacy and security. Don't forget to visit my website for free, downloadable guides, and much more. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep getting your hands dirty. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to Garden Guru, and I'll see you in the next one.